Hello, my biddies. How are you today? Little bit tiny it early, just a little bit. Had three reads that were no longer available. People gotta stop doing that. Got to stop doing it. One of them, I think, was probably accused of being AI, which we don't care about. um, did you see that ICE um arrested some, well, accosted, grabbed, kidnapped some 80-year-old man out of his own home in the middle of winter, didn't even let him get dressed. Like, this is why people don't like you, ICE. Pay attention to what you're doing. They said he didn't have, would refused to give his ID. I don't think so. They're spinning it. They always spin things. We know they lie. They've been shown over and over and over. They lie like rugs. So I will always believe the victim. He said he had ID. He had ID. They're saying he wouldn't give him ID. Dang it. That door's open. Um, and people are accusing him of not having his ID handy. Do you carry your ID around your house? Do you keep it on you when you're taking a nap? People are saying he was out of the shower. He wasn't. His daughter said he was taking a nap. They started banging on the door. He told her not to answer it. They busted down the door anyway, claiming preverts lived there. They didn't. They hadn't for 2 years. Like, that is an easy thing to check up on. Like, because they got to report. They got to report where they're living within like a very short amount of time. They have to report that they have moved and where. It's like that in every state. They're on a list. Those people are on a list, and they deserve to be. Um, but they're out of hand. They're out of hand. And you know what? As soon as we get done with Trump, who he needs to be 25th, as soon as we get done with him, we can go after them. Because as we learned from the Nuremberg trials, ignorance and just following orders is no defense. You know what you're doing is wrong. Stop it. Stop doing it. You know what's wrong. It costs 3,000 people a day. That's why they're doing it. That's why they don't care. They don't need to see ID until they want it. And then you don't have it because they made you leave the house without it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm mad. I can't. I have people that I love that can get caught up in this, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I hope that they're being careful, but as careful as you are, it doesn't protect you. Not always. Doesn't always protect you. And it was 2 degrees. They they made a man leave his house in his underwear and a pair of Crocs in 2-degree weather with a blanket half draped around him. Where? Where did these people get off? I don't understand it at all. I do not understand it. It makes me angry, and I think people are finally getting fed up with it. It's about time. Welcome to the party, because I've been fed up since 2015 because I didn't buy this BS about triple thin skin, as I call them. As soon as he came down that elevator, I knew it was all going to go to pot because people are so enthralled with rich people. Don't be enthralled with rich people. Most of them are not nice. Most of them, most people do not get rich being nice. They get rich by trampling all over everybody else and not giving back, ever. Musk is an illegal alien. Can we get rid of him? Can we send him back to Africa, please? It's also an African American. All right, I did my 5 minutes rambling. It's now 12:30, right? Sorry I'm late today. I was chilling, well, warming actually on the in my chair on my couch. It's like a love seat, reclining love seat thing. It's got the little thing in the side. Yeah. My daughter sent me a heated throw yesterday, and yeah, it works. It's so nice. I've been wanting one for forever, and I put it on my list every year. Nobody ever gets it for me. And it's not something I'll buy myself, but it's nice. I like it. Thank you. Thank you, oh Lauren, baby, and by extension, newbie, because they're together. Um, so yeah, it's, it goes up to 8. I only had it at 5. It was plenty warm. It's probably plenty warm at 4, but I want to get extra warm. So now I can turn the heat in the house down a little bit and not worry about the living room. The way they have my house set up, like the living room, dining room, living area is all one big room. It's a big, great room. And it has a lot of windows, like a lot of windows. So when it's sunny and nice out, it's really, really warm. But when it's cold and dreary, and we live in Michigan, which is the cloudiest state east of the Mississippi, so it's like the Seattle of the East. It's not so warm. We still get we still get plenty of um, solar panel heat. I'm glad I don't live over by my niece though. My dad. Their power bills are ridiculous, and it's the same cost. I don't understand why it's so high. Other than they overheat their houses or something. I don't know. We keep ours at 68, but that's 68 in the hallway translate to between 60 and 65 in the big room. So it's rarely over 65 in the winter, unless it's really, really sunny. And it might get up to 68. Maybe. In the spring and fall, it'll get up to 70. It'll get up in the 70s, and then in the summer, it gets in the 90s really easy. All right, I guess we'll go ahead. This is from Entitled People entitled, Sorry, That's No Longer Your Uber. I went on a cruise recently with family, and I thought I'd have some entitled people stories from the cruise. Surprisingly, I didn't, at least not until after. After we disembarked, my wife ordered an Uber. She gets a notification that it's only 2 minutes away. I didn't expect it that soon, and I was stoked. My wife saw the car drove up, so she went over to confirm with the driver while I brought the bags over. As she was talking to the driver, an irate man came running up saying he had been waiting 30 minutes and this was his Uber. No, no, check your app, dude. It tells you where your Uber is. My wife showed him on her phone, which had the make and color of the car, license plate, and the name of the driver. The man refused to show his phone. Interesting. Insisted it was his ride and went to talk to the driver. Turns out the man had booked his Uber, but when the driver sent a message saying he was at port but in the bathroom, it would be a couple of minutes, the man canceled. Then he tried to rebook and got the same driver who said he was in the bathroom and it would be a few minutes, the man canceled the ride again. Apparently after that, as the driver was leaving the restroom, he accepted our request and was there in less than 2 minutes. Oh, consequences of your actions, sir. Dude was pissed, yelling he has been waiting and we should get the. No, that's not how that works. Sorry, that's not how that works. As we were driving away, I heard the man yell, "Thanks for being an a-hole." The driver yelled back, "Don't cancel twice and expect a ride." Some people, I swear, but at least we got out of there much quicker than expected, so thanks, jerk, for queuing up the ride for us. Big Bowler says that AH's impatience worked out great for you. He has to be nice sometimes. Shadowrunner says he started all of his own issues and blamed everyone else. True entitlement to the core. Ralphie says the part that cracks me up is that he kept canceling his ride and attempted to reschedule as if a new request is just going to cause the app to spawn a new driver near his location. Dude forgot his app is reporting where the drivers are, not creating the driver. Users. Gestalt, Gestalt dude. As a former cabbie, I can tell you this is far more common than you realize, particularly on busy nights like New Year's Eve. I tell you, dropping off a popular spot turns into a scene from The Walking Dead. So many mindless people advancing on your vehicle, all of them thinking you are there to pick them up specifically, is almost a must to make you break out the chainsaw or katana and insert name of preferred deity help you if you make the mistake of accepting another job on the way to the drop off, because these zombies are not letting you get away with doing your job properly. Salt management said it works the other way too. One time I called a cab. A bit later, a cab pulled up. We got in and went on our way. Next thing I know, I'm getting a call that my cab has arrived. Evidently, the cab I was in had just happened to pull up. I'm sure that happens. You can't be mad about that. Mistakes are happen. We are human. Did I say mistakes are happen? Mistakes happen. We are all human. Next, we have malicious compliance entitled, "Okay, I'll stay on camera." Years ago, before Sports Authority went out of business, I worked there as the Hardlines receiving manager for one of their stores. Terrible company. I'm glad they went out. They were positively obsessed with the possibility of an employee theft. Understandable, I know, but don't be such buttheads about it, and you might lower your chances. Unloading a truck at the store for some bizarre reason required someone to stand on the dock plate while the seal number was called in. Never understood why. One day, the guy assisting me with the unload couldn't find the phone number to call in the seal number where it was written on the desk for some reason. I stepped off the dock plate, not even fully sure I stepped off camera, but stepped off the dock plate to point to yell at him where it was. Location ops manager, glorified head cashier. Gives me a warning, I guess. I think her wife syndrome with her job. Okay, I stand on the dock plate, except I have ADD and I get bored easily, and I have a penchant for acting inappropriately in situations. Cue up dancing on the dock plate and riding a more ordinary horse when a person calls in the seal number. Did I mention I suck at dancing? Ops manager decides I'm not taking this with the seriousness she can conjure up and reports me to district loss prevention manager. Shows him tape of me dancing on the dock plate and asks what they're going to do about it. It got back to his response, nothing. He's doing exactly what we told him to do. Mississippi Joel says, as someone who is in upper management, if a lower manager person wants to get rid of rank and file for some asinine reason like this, I always say, sure. Just remember you're expected to fill in for him at his same or better performance level until you hire and train his replacement. Gemini says, thank you. Too many manager lights try to just make someone on minimum wage do that job on top of their regular job. That's true. They do. Apparently, I didn't give myself enough time after lunch. I'm not doing that one. God forbid you look like you're having fun at work. Sarcasm. So Jim says you enjoying your work too much. We must punish you. I had a job where they told us they liked us to have fun. It was nice, except for the guy who kept trying to get me fired. He's a trip. AITAH. AITAH for telling a friend's boyfriend that he can't have a traditional wife because he's not a traditional man. It's weird. I don't think you probably should be telling anyone that, because that sounds I, 25 female, was hanging with some friends on and their significant others last week. To make a long story short, my friend's boyfriend kept talking about how women no longer want to be traditional wives, and that's why many of them are single. No, we just don't want you. I responded that in 2025, women don't feel like they need a man in order to provide for their lives they want for themselves. He kept going on about how women used to do and how they were all about taking care of their husbands and household without complaining. Yeah, they were all on drugs. You realize and drinking, you realize this, right? Day drinking was a thing. I let it go on for a while, but I got tired of hearing his rant and told him that he can't have a traditional wife when my friend goes 50-50 on all the bills with him and works more hours than he does. I continue to say that he isn't a traditional husband and can't provide for his household like he's supposed to, so that my friend can stay home and do those traditional duties. I may have become the a-hole, and I told him it sounds like he wants another mommy and not a wife. It became silent, and he told me that my way of thinking proved his point. How? How? Yeah, traditionally the men went out to work and the women stayed home. If you need your wife to provide 50% of the income, then you're not a traditional you can't have a traditional relationship. Not that those relationships anyway. Everybody's different. Some women can handle staying home and doing the household chores. Some women can't. Some women need to have something to do beyond the home. They need the interaction or they're just not cut out to stay home all the time. If you're an introvert, it works great. If you're an extrovert, not so much. Conversation pivoted elsewhere, and I thought that was it. But I got a message from my friend saying that her boyfriend was upset with me for what I said, and I embarrassed him. Well, I mean, some people need to be embarrassed. He wants me to apologize, but I don't think that I should have to, being as I was responding to his rant about traditional women. My friend think that she doesn't think I'm wrong, but doesn't think I'm right either. And I should have just talked to him because he had a few drinks. AITAH. Nope. When you drink, you say things that you're thinking anyway. You do things that you want to do anyway because drink loosens your inhibitions. So if you are thinking things that you don't want other people to know, you probably shouldn't be drinking. Update. I called my friend to try and understand why her boyfriend was embarrassed and why she was trying to be Switzerland in this situation. She explained that I'm her friend, and although she doesn't disagree with what I said, she feels like she needs to have her man's back as well. No, you don't. You could dump him. I told her that she doesn't have my back by asking me to apologize to him and not standing up for me, or at the very least tell him what he was saying was idiotic. We talked for an hour, and I actually feel like I didn't get anywhere. I told her that I would not apologize and that he can't come around me anymore. She was upset with that statement, and I can understand that. I feel like I lost a close friend, and it hurts a lot, but I will not be disrespected. Good for you. Sorry this isn't some juicy stuff, but I wanted to update everyone on how the situation ended. No, that's pretty juicy. That's pretty juicy. And her friend isn't being a friend. Well, she's being a girlfriend. She's being a girlfriend over the truth, and that should not happen. Professor Distinct says, NTA, the audacity of going on and on about trad wives and splitting things 50-50 with his girlfriend, lol. Hollowed says, it's weird these guys somehow forget that women have jobs. I've never met an unemployed adult woman. Society has moved on, dude. There's no way to hack it on a single income anymore, which is why trad wives are just TikToks and not actual women. No, they're making money. Those trad wives on social media, they're making money off of that. They have jobs. That's their job, is to pretend to be a traditional wife. Substantial Break says, I saw someone describe that trad wife content as full-time working producing non-nude fetish content. I've never really thought of it the same way again. Panelist Pyra answers, I have a friend who inherently believes in trad wives, but he's most definitely not a trad husband. His wife works full-time and has a similar income to him. However, she was also responsible for doing all the cooking, cleaning, and childcare. Was he doing other stuff, though? I mean, we have a split in responsibilities in our house, so we don't think it's unfair. But really, I think he's got the better end of the deal. It's not necessarily unfair, but he's got the better end of the deal because mine is every day. This is not, but his is harder. He recently got laid off from work, and I asked my friend what he was doing around the house now that he's not working. My friend says, I don't think so. He's just dirt biking way more now. So this guy is out having fun, unemployed, while his wife works full time and manages the household and the kids. Oh my goodness. I feel so bad for his wife, but I don't think she'll leave him because she has misogyny ingrained in her hard. Nothing worse than a misogynistic woman. And next we have benign overheard at the library. Libraries are awesome. I was at the library when one of the other patrons was visibly struggling with mental health issues and needed an ambulance called for her. It was a little chaotic for a minute, but in the midst of it, I heard a parent pull their kids in close and very calmly explain that sometimes people's thoughts can hurt them just like tummies can. They added that it can be loud and maybe even scary, but the important thing is to remember that we should all try our best to find help for them. What a good mom. Come join us. I like you. It really warmed my heart to see mental illness explained to young children in such a gentle, compassionate, and age appropriate way. I think the parent is doing an awesome job. Yeah. And you should have told her that. Moms need encouragement, man. When you see a mom doing the right things, definitely say something. It helps. It really does because you're not always sure. Extension is a extensionon. I don't know. They come up with weird stuff on here. Moments like this remind me that kindness, ugh. Moments like this remind me that kindness is being taught quietly every day. It costs you nothing to be kind. Evil buildings. There it is. Ectoplasm harvest at the Empire State Building, New York City. Well, this is definitely a Ghostbusters reference. I sense the presence of Zool. Are you the keymaster? Yes, I am the keymaster. I used to do that joke all the time because I literally kept the keys for all the cars at my area in GM. I'm the gatekeeper. Are you a god? No. Then die. Oh, that's so funny. Love these guys. Just no mother-in-law. Entitled, In Therapy but Still Struggling with Guilt for Cutting Off My Family After Mother Asked Me to Get an Abortion So I Can Keep Funding Their Lives. Wow. Wow, the audacity. I posted this a few weeks ago, but my post got removed. I know this subreddit is mostly for mother-in-laws, but this is about my family, my mother specifically. I know there have been a few posts about mothers, but if this is the wrong place, I'm sorry. Basically, I grew up the black sheep while my younger brother was the golden child. I'm sorry, OP, that sucks. Obviously, dad, boy mom. Boy moms are annoying. I am not a boy mom. I don't like my little girl. Typical stuff like no money for my birthdays or education, but suddenly there was money for him. They missed my college graduation because he had a baseball game. You graduate from college, most people once. A few people more than once, but most people once. And you have how many baseball games a year if your kid's playing baseball? That kind of stuff. A few years ago, my dad had some health problems and had to retire early. I started helping out financially with medical bills, but then came the emergency loans I was never paid back. Then could you cover the electricity bill just this once? You have retirement do you not have retirement money? Did you not set yourself up, sir? Over the course of a few years, I ended up paying most of their bills monthly, plus part of the mortgage. This all blew up when a few weeks ago they invited my husband and I to a family dinner. No, she was right. It's me. This all blew up a few weeks ago when they invited my husband and me to a family dinner where they asked me to take out a huge loan to invest in my brother's latest business idea. Oh, hell no, don't do that. Hell to the no. I had recently found out I was pregnant and told them I couldn't take on this debt and that I actually needed to work with them about reducing the amount of money I was giving them because my priority was now my future child. They screamed, told me I was dead to them, and kicked me and my husband out. You expect your kid to not have kids because you didn't properly um, plan for your future? Really? Live within your means. If you can't afford the electricity bill, maybe you need to move to a smaller place. So I cut them off. Good for you. I blocked them on all and stopped all payments. Recently, my mother got a notice that the electricity bill is past due. She told the family that I've abandoned them and I've been getting nasty calls from relatives telling me I'm selfish. No, your mother is selfish. One cousin called me to ask what was going on. She told me that my mother's telling everyone they had a bit of a rough patch and asked me for help. I told them to figure it out themselves. I told her that was not what happened. That I've given them over $60,000 over the past few years. Since it was just a few days before we decided to announce a pregnancy, I confided in her that I was pregnant and that my mother wanted me to terminate it so I could keep giving her the money. She was appalled. She asked if I wanted her to tell everyone the real story, and I told her not to not to bother. They saw how I was being treated my whole life. They believed my mother's lies, ridiculed me without even asking my side. They showed themselves to be the one I needed. Oops, sorry. Trying to move my mouse pad and stuck. That's better. They believed they showed themselves to be no one I needed in my life. A few days later, we announced our pregnancy on our socials, and the next day, that same cousin sent me a screenshot of Facebook. My mother found out we announced. Most family was by then blocked on all platforms and made a passive aggressive post about how the people you love the most hurt you the most and how her daughter is going to keep her grandchild from her. My cousin replied, "The same grandchild you told OP to abort so you could keep draining her financially." Apparently, the family is going at it now. Some of them want to reach out to me but can't, and I just don't care. I started therapy a few weeks ago. I still refuse to be in contact with them, which makes me feel horrible, even though I know it's right for me and my family. I also refuse to give them another cent and I feel so much guilt because I know they will probably lose the house. They should have sold the house already. That's not your problem, OP. My brother will never step up. My parents are too proud to downsize, and I try to live within their means. See, told you. Told you that was a whole issue. If you cannot live in the house you're in, you need to downsize. You need to move. Either downsize to something that you can afford to pay for, or move out of the area to a cheaper area, especially if you're retired and not don't have any job or anything, or if you work from home, you can do that too. They're both healthy now and still young, late 50s, and there's nothing keeping them from working full-time jobs. Dad is still retired and my mom works part-time. Did you not say for your retirement, sir? I'm just saying. She has a full-time job and so does he. I keep telling myself that I'm not doing this to hurt them. I'm doing it to let my child have what I never had. But it's tough because the years of conditioning to do more finally feels to finally feel loved is still there. That's not love, honey. Fair Swimmings is the top comment and says, "You didn't deserve any of that crap, not one bit. Nothing to feel guilty about. Maybe the complainers of the family can find the rent's lives. Focus on you. Therapy is good. Don't let them jar you off your path." Yes. Exactly. People, plan for your future. Do not rely on your children. They don't owe you anything. Petty revenge. Entitled, "Stopped coworkers from leaving their trash on my desk." Why would somebody leave their trash on your desk? That's just rude. That's just rude. Sorry, looking at my ears now. Many years ago, I had a corner desk near the door. Coworkers would regularly put their drinks on my desk on their way to the restroom and pick them up on the way back. After asking them not to do that, I put an extra basket at the end of the desk and started tossing their drinks in it. They were often genuinely surprised to find no drink when they came back there. That's kind of mean. I mean, they're not hurting you by putting that there as long as they pick it up. I just apologized and told them I didn't know who left the trash on my desk, but I needed my desk space to work. They also bumped into my chair while cutting through the work area. It didn't ask to be moved. These things would happen multiple times a day, and it was always the same handful of people. It was so bad that if I were to roll my chair back 6 inches, I'd accidentally run into them. So that's exactly what I started to do. Okay, I'm sorry. You should be in the Am I the devil? When I had to get a file from the side drawer, I'd roll my chair back and look sideways to get to the files. I decided I needed a file pretty much every time somebody was cutting through my workspace. It took a few times, but the worst offenders soon stopped after a few altercations between their ankle and my chair legs. I would also profusely apologize and ask if they were okay, offer to help them back to their desk, write an incident report, etc. And nobody caught on to this. Nobody was ever seriously injured, but I'm sure there were some bruises. I'm not proud, but I would do it again if I were at that desk in that office. And everybody's like, yeah. This person says open office spaces are a huge mistake, and that's just one of the reasons. Yeah. It's not their fault you have an open office, sir. I just find that to be mean. Honestly, if somebody's putting a thing on the corner of your desk, it does not bother you. That should not hinder you in any way. Should just put a little table there instead of a wastebasket. It costs you nothing to be kind, honestly. Didn't we just talk about this? You don't have to be a jerk. Speaking of this is from Am I the Jerk? Entitled AITJ for canceling a family holiday at my house after my dad said he was bringing his new partner and we all had to accept it instantly. No, you're not entitled to bring people into the family at a family function before they're part of the family. We do because we're nice, but no one's entitled to just say, "Hey, I'm bringing so and so." I, 28 female, offered to host our big family holiday this year for the first time. Usually it's at my parents' place, but my mom moved out last year when my parents separated and the house is smaller now. You mean your mom moved into a different house and it's smaller than the house you grew up in? That was not worded well. I have a decent sized apartment, a dog, and actually like cooking, so I thought it would be nice to have everyone over and also take some emotional load off my mom. When I first floated the idea in our group chat, everyone sounded excited, including my dad. The only thing I asked was that we keep it relatively small because I do not have unlimited chairs or dishes, and I get easily overwhelmed with a ton of people crammed into my living room. So the plan was dad, my siblings, their partners, and kids, and my grandma. She doesn't say how many siblings. That sounds like plenty of people. We set the date, shared the menu ideas. I started buying decorations and making lists like a nerd. For context, my parents' separation is still fairly fresh. They split officially 10 months ago after long friendships that were obviously more than that. So dad's a cheater. Why need some talking to him? Mom had enough and finally moved into a condo. Dad has been hinting he is seeing someone but refused to give any details and said it was too soon for us to meet her and that he wanted us to respect his privacy. Fine for his life. I was honestly relieved just to have a calm holiday where everyone could focus on food and kids instead of divorce drama. Yeah, because that will take up your whole life. Then, about 2 weeks before the holiday, Dad calls me and basically announces, not asked, that he will be bringing his new partner, Lena. No, no, sir, it's too soon, remember? Especially holidays, don't do that. Unless it's kids bringing somebody home. Don't bring your new partner into your kids' lives during the holidays. You're just asking for trouble. He has that he expects everyone to be welcoming and that he doesn't want any attitude or sulking kids. Sir, this is not your house. I said I was surprised because he had made a big deal about privacy and also that mom would be there. It might be a lot for her to sit in my tiny living room with his new girlfriend like nothing happened, especially if since mom's going to be there. He should not be bringing a new woman around. Not this soon, no. Need at least a couple years. He cuts me off and says he is tired of walking on eggshells around us and that he deserves happiness. Oh, you were getting your happiness, sir. You've been getting your happiness all along. And that if mom chooses to feel awkward, it's her problem. Wow. Then he says something like, if you're hosting, you host all of me, including my partner. If you can't do that, I'll remember it. Okay. I told him I was not comfortable being the stage for his grand reveal, especially when he refused to even have a real conversation first. I suggested he either talk to mom and my siblings first, or we keep this holiday just immediate family and he introduces Lena another time. He doubled down and said I was being controlling and disrespectful. No, you are. Projection. And repeated that he was bringing her and all needed to accept it instantly. No compromise. After that call, I just sat there shaking. I kept imagining my mom trying to make small talk. My dad acts like a teenager with a new crush. The more I thought about it, the more I felt I was being forced into choosing a side or pretending years of hurt never happened. Inside my own home, where I was supposed to feel safe in. Yeah, exactly. So the next day, I texted the family chat and said I was canceling hosting. I told them I loved him, but I was not up for managing the tension and that maybe it was better if everyone did their own plans this year. My mom immediately called and said she understood completely and would just spend the day with the friend. My siblings were disappointed, but mostly at our parents in general, not me. Dad, on the other hand, absolutely lost it. He said I was punishing him for moving on and accused me of siding with my mom, and even hinted that I was being ungrateful because he helped my college with the down payment on my place years ago. Throwing money in her face again. Was it a gift, sir? Then you don't mention it again. You don't get to throw money in people's faces like that. It's so mean, so rude, so manipulative. He I have ruined the family holiday and that all I had to do was be polite to his partner for a few hours. No, no, she didn't. If her mom was going to be there, you don't do that. Like, you don't do that. 10 months? No, absolutely not. When aunts chimed in that I should have just hosted anyway and not made it about the divorce. I feel guilty because I know my siblings were looking forward to everyone being together and I did pull the plug. But at the same time, I feel like my boundaries got bulldozed the moment my dad turned my home into a test of loyalty. Yeah. Nope. I think that she didn't have to cancel. What she should have done is said if come because she's not welcome here yet. Yet. Not that she won't be welcome ever, but how long has he even known this woman? She could be a 2-week fling, everybody knows, or a 2-month fling. Is she going to stick around? Probably not. Is he a cheater? Yeah. So why does he get to dictate everything? No, just uninvite dad. Say, well, if she's that, what was her name? Can't even remember what she said her name was. Lena. If Lena's so important to you, you can go have Christmas at Lena's, sir. She doesn't need to come here. Oh, you say she doesn't have a family? Well, that's too bad for you. Guess you're going out to one of the very, very rare nasty restaurants that are open on Christmas. Chinese food for you. Top comment is from smells like a troll. Smell like a troll. I do smell like a troll. I am a troll. You handled it good. For comparison, I would just point blank told the dad, you aren't pulling that now after the plans I've made. This is not the time or place to introduce her. And if you insist on bringing her, you will be refused entry. End of discussion. I would have stated that in duplicate point blank in the chat. Make no mistake. He want he was wanting to bring her because he wants people to meet her. Either she insisted as a I got him now into, or he insisted as a look at me, I don't need you now. You're a gesture. I don't think they've proofread that at all. You might reinvite the family from a new group chat, which excludes him, not NTJ. And then thanks for the awards. And I agree with him, just like what I said. Don't invite him. If Lena is so important to him, he can go spend his holiday with Lena. He doesn't need to see his family. They obviously don't mean much to him. Glum Airlines says he wanted to hurt the mom. That was his goal. He cheated for years. She finally got tired of his BS and left. And now she wants to punish her and make her feel bad. It's childish, selfish, and he has basically set his new girlfriend up to always be disliked by his kids no matter what. Well, I wouldn't judge his new girlfriend on that. She may not even know what's going on. Trust me, I know people who dislike perfectly nice perfectly nice people because they marry a parent. They marry their parent. Perfectly nice people, and the kids don't like them anyway. Why? What's your problem? I wouldn't want to spend any holidays with him for the foreseeable future since he's hell bent on hurting his family and his ex-wife when they are still processing this separation. Yeah, I would tell him to stay away. Invite everybody else. Y'all have a good time without him because he's probably ruined every holiday. Now it's time for expectation versus reality. This is Melissa Joan Hart. You remember Melissa Joan Hart? What was she in? I can't remember. Sabrina? Maybe it was Sabrina. Only one picture. Even celebrities. This is a. Oops. This was the expectation. Of course, this is an unrealistic expectation. Nobody looks like that. Nobody looks like that, Joan. But that's pretty bad. It's just printed on. This is like obviously 3D, and this is 2D. 3D and 2D are not the same things, people. Avita Burst says maybe if people stop buying things with blatant AI images of the product, they won't be so surprised when it shows up looking different. There's a girl on YouTube called Hope Scope. You should go check her out. She'll buy like a $10 dress, a $100 dress, a $500 dress, a $1,000 dress, and compare them. Which one looks most like the AI? Most like the clearly AI ad. Cheese Slut says blatant AI images that the item also costs $10 when it should be 5 times the price. Whitest guy now. That 100% seems to be the common denominator. People keep buying these products with a post that shows a bunch of intricate 3D features that would require a bunch of detail sewing or knitting with a bunch of extra fabric, and they see, oh, it's $20. What a steal. And then later post, oh, I got ripped off. You didn't get ripped off. You got what you paid for. Melissa Joan Hart might have gotten ripped off because that could have been expensive. All right, and then we have a penthouse condo in Indiana. I'm trying to think, Indianapolis, maybe? I don't know. It's downtown somewhere. Oh, it's Carmel. Why does Carmel need a penthouse? It's not even that big. How many? I'll give you something to look at. Oh, that's what it be looking like. At least it has a pool, I guess. I'm gonna see how much. Indiana population. Yeah, like 110,000 people. Not even big enough for a penthouse. It just means the top of the building. It even look like it might have been added on. It's kind of weird. Also, is that one of those lap pools? Oh wow. I actually kind of like it. It's understated and not too flashy. I don't like the chairs though. I don't like the metal. That's too much. Too much stainless steel there. It's darker than I would prefer, but it's okay. It's not white. And why you got a criminal painting a picture of a criminal over the stove? Why would you do that? That is weird. Sorry. It's not even that big good of a view. And look at all these windows up here. Holy cow. The windows you can't even see out of. Is this some kind of photographer's like lives there? Or a magician. Look at that drum setup's pretty awesome. Do the people downstairs get mad when you drum? It's a nice stove. I like the stove. Really, really like the stove. I still don't get the criminal. Why would you do that? It's weird. Is that him? I don't know who that is. Oh, I forgot to say. It's $3.6 million, 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, 37 and a half ish square feet. How come the pictures are all of girls except for the guy over the stove? That is quite the booze collection you have there, sir. Is this a bar? Okay, I'm sorry. This is nouveau riche crap. Like, this is unnecessary. It's in a closet. Sir, this is a closet. We do not put statues in the closet. Statues are art and are meant to be seen by the general public. It's so weird. Why would you do that? I would love to have one of these front opening dishwashers. It's been determined it will not fit in my laundry space. So I have to get a top loader, which I hate because I can't reach inside because I'm short. Really, really short. Not quite a dwarf, but really short. Everything's gray though. Like you need some pops of color there, dude. Everything is gray and black. What a boring place to live. Nice fridge. That's where you'll be living. Oh, I see. You don't even need the bar. You got a tavern right there underneath you with craft beer, no less. And if you're living in, if you can spend $3.5 million more than on a place to live, you can afford to go to the bar. It's a weird space. What the heck? I'm confused by this. Holy cow, look at that grill. Oh my god, I love that. I love the Darth Vader helmet. What is that? That's funny. Does that stay with the house? Look at that grill. That is awesome. I might do something with this wall. It looks kind of boring. Is this street parking only? That would suck. To the spot, and I'm assuming that's a lap pool. It's interesting that it has a cover over it. It's got to get nice and toasty in the summer, though. I'm assuming this is the view from it. Interesting how they have little umbrellas over. Bathroom looks cool. I mean, for a bathroom, you know. There's 115 pictures, guys. Carmichael Hotel is nearby, apparently. So you don't even have to have overnight guests. I can't believe this is only 3 bedrooms. That's crazy. Again, with the black and gray, and why does your bedroom look like a hotel room? I don't understand that. I don't want to live like I live in a hotel room. I mean, the only reason that it looks like part of this is because you're entertaining a lot. A 3-story bunk bed. Why? Why? So weird. You have that many kids? That's an odd thing. There are no solar panels on this. There should definitely be solar panels. I'm confused. Is that another building? At least you look out over most of the other buildings. Seems like a lot of wasted space to me because you could have another story on there easily. Oh my goodness, I saw some brown in that bathroom. Color. Bedroom's pretty small. Why are we back here? We already showed this. Right? Close to the Carmel City Center. You don't even. Is that where you park? I still see no parking. Oh, wait. I'll check out Darth Vader a little closer. Some kind of heater thing, I think. Might have a little stove, maybe. I have a feeling that all the pictures are stuff we've already seen. Just from a different angle. We've literally already seen that. This realtor sucks. Like, seriously. Why are you duplicating pictures? This is in. I'm confused. Where is this? It's in one of the bedrooms. Ick. I mean, the bedrooms aren't that big for 3,700 square feet. That's a nice telescope. You can see it at night. Nope. Just more of the same picture. Okay, somebody was picture happy, but did not know what they were doing. It's a front entrance, I presume. Another Darth Vader. Guy likes his Darth. Star Wars fan, for sure. Already seen this. Oh, this is another bed. These are Murphy beds. Oh my goodness. Are they comfortable? I don't know. My bestie made Murphy beds for her grandkids. Now that's decent. I'm just checking out what's around. I still find the prisoner or the stove to be it's a choice, I guess. It's a choice. Oh, finally, a little quiet place for people. Seen it, seen it, seen it, seen it, seen it, seen it, seen it. Is this like his second place because I can't figure how he's living there? And why do you need so many beds? I mean, I can see it if you have little kids, but definitely more of an extrovert than I am. Seen it, dude. Oh, God, no. Oh, okay. I'm not buying it now. It's contaminated. It's contaminated. Would you want to poop underneath Trump? Would you really? Yeah, I get idiot. Ugh, ick. Gives me the ick now. Okay, that's weird. What is that? What's that supposed to be? All right, that's all of that. Jeez. Oops. So it's in Carmel, Indiana, Unit 701, whatever that means. Sky high sophistication in the heart of Carmel. It's not even that big of a city. Three bedrooms, four bathrooms, one half bath, four main level bathrooms, and three main level bedrooms. So it's all one level. Kitchen is 36 by 15 square feet, and the great room is smaller, 26 by 23. I mean, not technically smaller, but not as long. Has an office and a sunroom. Heating is electric forced air, and cooling is central air. That gas stove is cooktop is staying. The dishwasher, the dryer, the washer, electric water heater, disposal microwave, the double oven, the bar refrigerator, the refrigerator, and the wine cooler all staying. Double vanity vaulted ceilings, kitchen island, central vacuum. Central are nice, by the way. Elevator, hardwood floors, eat-in kitchen, smart thermostat, sauna. Oh, sauna. That was that last picture was probably a sauna. Supplemental storage wired for sound. Basement. Common walls with other units, one. It does have parking. Assigned attached to parking, 4 spaces. So you can have all 4 of your cars. Cars for you and your 3 kids. Taxes. How much are the taxes? 14,000 a year. Um, I can live with that. It's better than a 100,000 on that other house. Traumatize them back. You want to see what's under my eye patch? Okay, and this is malicious. Okay, so you've been warned. You might not want to see this, but I have to look at it. And I'm making it bigger, so you have to look at it bigger. Oh, that's cute. I wonder what happened to their eye. It doesn't say what happened to the poor girl's eye. Somebody quoted, I can't possibly be an artist after vision loss. Well, you only lost vision in one eye, girl. Beethoven was famously a deaf composer. He couldn't hear at all, and you can still see. Sounds like wah wah wah. Next is from Confession, entitled, I was so hungry today I Googled hotels with complimentary breakfast near me and went there, walked in, stole food, and then left. I feel bad. I'm a terrible person, but I was so wanging hungry. I'm so broke. I have no food in the bank. Food bank couldn't get me until January 15th because holidays are busy. I don't know what something is going to do. I don't want to do that again. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm go- I don't want to do that again. I have sinned and I feel terrible guilt. I only took two small muffins, two yogurt cups, and five little sausages, four for me, one for my dog. So I wasn't gluttonous, but I still feel like I'm a thief. I don't want you guys to worry about my dog, okay? He has a big 14-pound bag of Purina lamb and rice, his favorite. I made sure to spend less of my money on that because I know I won't be making more for a while. I just wanted him to get one sausage anyways as a treat because he's a good boy and he has food. I will always make sure of that. But thanks for worrying about him. Edit. I don't know why people think I'm homeless, but I'm not homeless. I live in an apartment. I rent an apartment. You can have food and no home. I eat like that, and I live in Canada. Salt-hearted barmaid says no one should ever go hungry in a world where billionaires exist. Remember, kids, if you see someone stealing food, no, you didn't. That's right. Prim Slim Shady. Other things, yes. They're still on TVs. Definitely tell somebody or jewelry. Clean water, nutritious food, safe housing, and timely medical intervention. These are the foundations of life and are thus human rights. And all people deserve those for free or as a society. Not even looking at the replies for that one. Maltinterdist says, I worked at a hotel for 2 years doing overnight auditing and I was responsible for setting up for breakfast in the morning. I guarantee you there's absolutely no chance I would have ever known someone was or wasn't supposed to get breakfast. And we threw out so much of it. If I ever knew someone was coming in because they couldn't afford food, I would have said squat. Aim for hotels and motels that have exterior halls so it isn't obvious that you are not coming from down the elevators or go up the elevators and then come back down. Don't repeat the same hotel more than 2 days in a row. If you have any kind of pajama pants you could put on to walk in, that will sell that much more than if you're supposed to be there. If they're checking room keys, it can happen, but usually only at nicer hotels. Practice saying, oh crap, I left in the room. I'll be right back. And then turn around like nothing's weird and go find another hotel. But otherwise, walk in, put a big yawn on as you pass the front desk so you won't make eye contact and go feast. And a lot of people are getting hung up on the left my key back in the room thing. Remember, this is a completely fictional scenario, and the person who isn't actually staying in the room. But if they were, it could be their partner or their kid or their cousin or whoever they're sharing a room with. Right. Still just Jess says, I also worked at a front desk for a few years. Watching who was getting breakfast was my least priority. My focus was on elevators and hallways towards the stairs and or rooms for the safety of the guests. Unless you truly seem suspicious, following a guest or otherwise, you're fine. It would make me so happy if someone snuck past me and took some food for themselves and their pup. So much was always wasted. Anything that works says exactly if it makes you feel better, just go 20 minutes before breakfast ends and they only take the stuff that will be thrown away and wasted. Not only are you preventing food from being wasted, you're also making the cleanup easier. Ism says, when I was homeless, I would go to motels and take coffee or milk and cereal. Only one time did a front person stop me and they were like, I recognize you from last week. I know you don't stay here. Please use smaller coffee container next time. Because I was bringing in a 62-ounce Bubba steel wall thermos and sharing it with other homeless people later after I left. You know what? 64 ounces is conspicuous. I agree with them. I was still too embarrassed to go back to that one. Wow, that was a nice person. Little Wing says, I don't believe stealing food to keep yourself sustained is morally wrong. I understand it may well feel that way, but many of these buffets waste tons of food. Possibly look into places that will give away day-old bread from the back. A lot of bakeries will have empathetic employees who will do that at closing. Overall Dream says, I'm with you. What's morally wrong is having people to resort to this in the first place. Nobody in this day food. It could be fixed. World leaders just don't want to fix it. I say anyone struggling to take it and don't feel guilty for trying to survive. Subterranean Lodger said, I came here to stress that too. It would cost $40 billion per year to solve the world hunger, and yet good, hardworking people and their children go hungry every day. And for what? So that billionaires can hoard wealth they'll never be able to spend in its entirety. Just a month ago, a government shutdown led to people using food stamps hostage, even though that aid money was already set aside for them. Exactly. Eat, sustain your body. Ask a bakery for the bread they'll throw out. Offer to wash dishes or work a shift at a restaurant in exchange for a hot meal. If you can get a job in food service somewhere, do that and get a free meal or discount. Stay alive. I worked at a place that sold pizza by the slice. We always had some left over to throw out at the end of the night. There were a few homeless people who would come by at closing every once in a while, and they were always happy to get them. We were always happy to give them leftovers. No one should have to dig through dumpsters for a meal. No one. Yeah. There should be something for these people other than stealing food from from a hotel. There should be ways to get food other than food banks, because food banks can turn you away. They're not part of the government. And then we had an interesting AF removed by moderator, so we went to this. This is Ethiopia's Bana tribe. They use long sticks to avoid snakes in their valley. And it's not the long sticks you think it is. Oh, shoot. It may not even have sound, but I'll put the sound on anyway, just in case. I think it's on. So if this disappears, it will disappear for a few days until they take it out. It's do you? That was a cool. That's really cool. Was it what you thought it was? I had no idea people did that. Walking on stilts to avoid snakes is interesting. And the mod says, contrary to the tons of reports, this post does not seem to be AI. So that's awesome. I'm going to show you this little GIF. It says, the stilts. And this is. That's actually funny. That's really cute. Why was he stroking the snakes? Oh, he was distributing the snakes, ma'am. Successful Hat says they walk on stilts for a number of reasons to collect wild honey, to see cattle in the long grass, to avoid large predators and snakes in the long grass is a display of skill. Balance is important to the Bana people. Sorry, my Spanish snuck in there. As coming of age ritual for young men involves running over the backs of cattle. Whether they can run over the backs of a certain number of cattle in a row determines whether they will be allowed to marry, so it's a pretty big deal. They also live in large tents that are constructed around the beds of women and children, so I imagine being able to get up high and balance is fairly useful for that too. Edit, someone with more knowledge corrected me about the housing bit. Thanks. So they build them in a shape that allows the cattle to be in the middle. That way they can watch their livestock. The same as my tribe and other tribes where livestock is a focal point. I don't know about them being building around the beds. The beds just go against the walls and a hearth in the middle, as it makes most logical sense. That's really cool. Next we have AITA, or am I the a-hole? Sorry, AITA for telling my sister not to come to my wedding if she kept bringing up her miscarriage. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Well, they say that she's not. 3 years ago, my younger sister Jen had a miscarriage at 9 weeks. She and her partner Scott were devastated, and I was there for them as much as I could, but it was a tough time for them. A few months later, Scott left Jen. Jen said it was because of the miscarriage. Her and Scott had a close-knit group of friends, and I found it odd no one checked in on her. So I rang my best friend to suggest a girls' night. She told me the reason they broke up. Jen had slept with someone else. While he confronted her, she blamed the miscarriage. No, it was not a miscarriage. That was not because of the miscarriage. That was because of you. 9 months ago, I got engaged and asked Jen to be my maid of honor. At our engagement party, Jen became inconsolable seeing our friend's baby. Oh my goodness. Jen needs help. Jen needs to go see a therapist because this is not a normal reaction. Everyone focus, including mine, was on Jen that night. I wasn't upset with her. I figured she was imagining what all those big family events would be like with a baby, so I gave her grace. Since then, anything to do with the wedding, she brings up her miscarriage, but only at events related to my wedding. I asked her to help me pick flowers, and she lost it when she saw baby blue roses. She's convinced she was having a boy, and we had to leave. Then we went wedding dress shopping, and she picked out a maternity bridesmaid's dress and asked to try it on so she would see how it would have looked. Jen is sick. She's sick. When she did that, I thought she's actually lost it and had to walk away while she started stuffing cushion up her dress. Oh my goodness. I've tried to talk to her about going to counseling again, but she is insisting this is a normal part of the grieving process. It is not. No. She planned my hen party, which I was so grateful for, but I found out she'd set everyone a list of rules, which included no talking about pregnancy or kids, no wearing baby blue, etc., etc. I confronted her, but I was gentle about it. I suggested counseling again and said I was there for her, that if she wanted to impose any other rules or anything to do with my wedding, she had to come to me first. Well, yeah, of course. It all came to a head when she heard one of my friends and bridesmaids announce she was pregnant. She will be 7 months at the wedding. After the announcement, Jen called her and said it would be best if she didn't come because she couldn't maintain her peace if she was forced to be reminded of the loss of her child. Oh my God, girl. This is not normal behavior. How far along was she when she had the miscarriage? Because I mean, farther along you are, the more it affects you. And the most miscarriages are within a few days to a few weeks of when you find out you're pregnant, if not even before you find out you're pregnant. I lost it when I found out and said she was using her miscarriage to get attention, and that if she made one more demand or single comment about it at any invited, in either case, she is no longer my maid of honor. Since then, Jen has told everyone I dumped her for the wedding for being too upset about the loss of her baby. I think everyone should know that it's been 3 years. In retaliation, I've told everyone and anyone who will listen the real reason her and Scott broke up. Half our friends and family think I'm being an a-hole, half think she is. I'm still horrifically angry and stuck in a place where I'm not sure if I'm rightly angry or if I should be more understanding. AITA. And here's the edit. A couple of people said I went too far telling people about the reasons she broke up with Scott. No, not if she's lying about that. No. The record needs to be sent straight. Otherwise, it makes Scott look like an a-hole. And I can take that just for contacts. I had multiple people reach out to me who she had spoken to first, each essentially saying I was being a bitch for dumping her from the wedding for having a miscarriage, and said something along the line of, she's lost her partner and her sister because she lost her baby. No. I felt I needed to correct them that she actually lost neither of us because of the miscarriage. She lost us because of her actions since, and her blaming the miscarriage is part of a pattern of behavior. I didn't go into details, just said, actually, she lost Scott because she cheated on him, and she lost me because she invited one of my bridesmaids without my knowledge because she's pregnant. That's just setting the record straight. I was upset and hurt that they were saying this to me, and also that she wanted everyone to think I was the sort of person who would dump my sister because she lost a baby. So I lashed out by telling them what actually happened with Scott. I suppose as a way to defend myself. But again, the consensus is that this was too far. I'll accept that and take it on the chin. Um, these people that are upset with you, you can uninvite them from the wedding too. Edit two. Thanks for the feedback. Someone mentioned that we phrased weaponized grief. And seeing that went down is what it feels like. She certainly didn't deal with her grief at the time she had the miscarriage, but I'm surprised that it's presented itself now in the way that it has. Part of me wonders if she's seeing me get married, thinking about it should have been her and Scott. Perhaps their feelings of guilt over what she did and not dealing with her grief have caused her she needs some help. I'm not sure, but I'm glad to see the consensus seems to be I was right to set boundaries. I did. This gives me some measure of peace as we get closer to the wedding, although if it comes to it and she is still not there, I will still be devastated. um, Dane B says, I'm going to get downvoted to hell for this, but honestly, F it. And she has 21,000 updates, so I don't think she's okay. She had a miscarriage at 9 weeks pregnant 3 years ago. And yes, a miscarriage is awful. I'm not saying it's not something to grieve over because it is. You grieve the idea of what could have been and you hope for and the embryo wasn't viable, but is vastly different than losing a child you were able to hold or had to give birth to or having a stillborn. Yeah, like I said, the longer you're pregnant, the more grief you're not allowed, but the more grief you will have. 3 years for a 9-week pregnancy is not appropriate. At 9 weeks, this is still a loss, yes, but it is incredibly common. 1 out of 10 pregnancies ends in miscarriage before 12 weeks. I think it's way higher than that. It's usually because your body seemed like there was something wrong with the tissue, rejected it because that would never be a viable baby. She is now, after 3 years, still holding this as a pity hostage over people's head, even those who are currently pregnant, by the way, telling them not to talk about babies at the wedding while she's pregnant. No, I don't know. I think that was, I think she meant to say something else there. Actually, I don't even know if they, who said she was the only person to ever miscarried in that friends group. A lot of people miscarry. A lot. Probably all really because sometimes you don't even know you're pregnant before the baby doesn't, the embryo doesn't implant or whatever. So, yeah, a lot of people miscarry, probably everyone. She's also using a miscarriage of 3 years ago as the reason for cheating on her spouse, which is gross. Almost sounds like she loves the negative attention and is milking it for all it's worth, which is bonkers. Probably left her because she was bonkers. This is my unpopular opinion for the year. Let the you don't get to tell people how to grieve or for how long people comments. Yes. Fork you says totally with you. A miscarriage is devastating, but being that sensitive after 3 years is something else. As you say, miscarriages before 12 weeks are really common. It's such a taboo topic and needs to be talked about more. And some people don't even realize they're pregnant at that point. Even if the baby was born dead in the third trimester, it would be overstepping, but more desire. Understandable. NTA. Happy Gardner says at 9 weeks gestation, some women don't even realize they are miscarrying. I'm not minimizing it, I'm just rather pointing it out. At this point, the sister is using the miscarriage to gain attention and make everything about her, and that is the truth. Someone suggested she get counseling. 3 years is a long time to be acting like this. Edit. I had 4 miscarriages at different stages of pregnancy. Yes, I feel bad. I didn't hold it over the heads of everyone I came into contact with. I also had 4 healthy pregnancies. I believe miscarriages are a woman's body taking care of itself, care of something that's not viable. That is just my opinion, and I'm not saying women should be upset. It's just my own personal opinion. Overthinking Ho says more people need to talk about miscarriages than the nature of them. That's literally biological natural to have a miscarriage. While it's sad and people deal with them in different ways, your point of saying that it's a woman's body taking care of something that's not viable is completely accurate. We are still animals at the end of it all, and nature taking its course is inevitable sometimes. Yep, for sure. Next, we have Overheard, and it's entitled Overheard at the Grocery Store Checkout. I was checking out at my local grocery store when a family of 4 got in line behind me. As soon as they got in line, the wife said I'm going to grab some snacks and walked away. The father and their 2 sons, aged 5 and 8, remained in line. The older kid was looking at the magazines when suddenly he turned to dad and said, "What's sex?" Oops. When he said that, I looked up from unloading my groceries and made eye contact with the dog. And that's when he replied, "She said snacks. Open your damn ears." He gave his son a light slap on his head. The mom showed up right after this, unaware of the epic save. My niece, who does listen to the show sometimes, she is like 8 or 10 years old. I think they were just moving into a new house, and there are condominiums being built behind them. She called them condoms. Her mom, like, her mom's like, she knows what she's saying. She knows it's inappropriate. She knows what she's saying. Just ignore her. Smalls, you're killing me. Oh, I've had that said to me once. At least once. Recently, as a matter of fact. A friend from high school. Knew an 11-year-old who was at a fast food restaurant with his dad and older brother. As they were getting ketchup, the sign above read condiments. And the boy said, "Dad, that reminds me, what are condoms?" Dad takes a few minutes to son, said, "I knew that. I just wanted to see you squirm." Her dog says, "I was about 15. My dad and I were up late one Saturday night. He adjusted the satellite dish so we could watch Rose. I'm sorry." Midway through a sex scene, he says, "You know, if there's stuff you can ask me." I was a bit worried at first because I just had my first experience with a girl a week or so prior. I thought he might have found out. So I replied, "Sure, Dad, what'd you want to know?" And the birds and bees talk. Heathen humanist says, "Jesus, so he thought that watching porn with you is the best way to introduce you to sex? I'm sorry." Yes, me too. That is not appropriate. That is not appropriate. Poopy butt answered her, "Yeah, explains a lot of men." Normal Deadpool says, "Look, I don't know everybody, but I know a lot of bodies, and I've never heard of a father watching porn with his child. That's some messed up dudes out there, and for a lot of reasons, but this is a new one on me." Kind Warrior says, "That reminds me of a Cards Against Humanity question. Would you rather watch a porno with your parents or watch a porno starring your parents?" That does not sound like a Cards Against Humanity question. Maybe it was a different game, but it doesn't sound like a Cards Against Humanity question. And Cheer Off My Chest was removed by moderator. So we have an for one from last month. Or maybe this month it didn't get in. This is from Cheer Off My Chest, entitled, "My mother's boyfriend made me realize how insecure my stepmother is." Interesting. "I feel like I've just gotten to know a new world where I'm basically treated like a person and not a nasty fly. I speak Spanish, so if you want to leave a comment in Spanish, feel free." meets. My father has been married to my stepmother for 6 years. They have two kids together. I'm 17-year-old. I'm quiet, clean all my things. I work part time, so I even pay for a lot of my things. I'm not perfect, but I've never been a problem, and she's always made me feel like one. Oh, I hate stepmothers like that. She started showing annoyance when I went to my father's house. My mother taught me to always wash my own dishes, but I have the clear memory of hearing stepmom tell my father that she will not clean other. I think it was the first time I felt like a nuisance in a place where I used to feel comfortable. And the father should have said, "No, you're going to clean her dishes just like you clean all of our children's dishes because she's our child." Oh, that makes me mad. My father and I used to always take trips together, and I honestly felt a little excited to go on vacation with my little brothers. But they started going on vacation together with a family as I was no longer in that family, part of that family. She didn't like me going with them. She sounds like a I can't even say because it's so mean, but that's what she sounds like. Then the Christmas photos started. It felt strange when they took a picture with me, and then she would say, "Okay, now one with my family," and I had to step aside. Did we read this one? We might have read this one. Also, with the photos, they have a hanging baptism. I'm not in them, although I was present at the place when my siblings were born, and she really it. Hated when I was present around them. She resented my presence. I remember asking about this one on Facebook about stepmoms getting responses from women that my stepmom's behavior was normal, so I just decided to try and not feel bad about it. I swear we read this one. Maybe I read it afterwards. I think as the years went by, it stopped hurting, or so I thought, until I met my brother's boyfriend, who I will call Luigi, because he looks like him. He's been dating my mom for 2 years, but he's been a friend of my mom's for years. He has a son from a previous girlfriend. Luigi is kind, funny, and so it's strange to feel comfortable around him. One day he was organizing a vacation. I was happy to hear him include me in his plans. His son-in-law get along well, even outings together. Of course, as he should. My mother's pregnant, and I think that relieved a trauma in my stepmother. So I automatically expected to be left to the side by Luigi, but it didn't happen that way. My mother and he always includes his son and me in the plans. Thanks to this, I began to realize little by little that my stepmother is not normal, but it still hurt. Everything exploded yesterday when my father and his family were going to take the typical Christmas photo. My father told me that he would take one with me later, like every year. He keeps them in his office. So I stayed home. I felt silly for feeling sad again. My mom hugged me, but I just got tired and finally told my mom about the real treatment I've been getting. And for the first time, I saw Luigi angry. He called my father, and I heard him tell everything. I even laughed a little when he said that my stepmother was an insecure psychopath. Although Luigi apologized to my mother for it, he told her that what I've been experiencing is a type of psychological child abuse that he will not be involved with anymore. These words make me realize it's true. I have been bullied by existing. She's insecure about a kid. I was a kid when I met her. I was a kid when she made me feel insecure in my own house. I was a kid when she started calling me a weekend daughter. I don't want to see my father again. I don't want to live my adulthood around a person who hates me. But I also don't want her to win by giving her what she wants, make me disappear. Edit. Apparently, this post has been posted in a subreddit about stepmoms since I have been receiving private messages from people who want to justify my stepmother's behavior. If you're a stepmother like this, go pound sand. You are not human. I'm sorry, but I won't answer any messages and I will only block those accounts. I don't need want to turn the victimizer in my life into a victim. I don't need a group of cruel adults who want to make me feel guilty when I was a child. Absolutely nothing in this world justifies mistreating a child. Being a stepmother is different than trying to be a little girl who lives in the same house hates her. I posted about it on my profile. Yeah, so that happens, says, don't think about cutting contact with your father as her winning. Your father has not stepped up to be a good father or a protector. At the end of the day, many faults lie upon him. You're prioritizing your true family, the people who care about you. Exactly. Oh, I can't deal with that anymore. I'm getting too mad. Okay, next is What Do I Do? Entitled, My Sister Made a Bad Decision. I'm thinking of telling her mother about it. Mm, it's a hard decision to make. Okay, this sounds absolutely insane, but here's the context. My sister, newly 17, went to a game, which is cool, but instead of leaving with her friends, she left with an older guy from her job that came to pick her up. He's 26. He has a fiance and a kid, and decided to sleep with my husband, who again is a minor. Legally, I don't think this is against the law, but morally, it's extremely weird to me that this happened. Depends on where you live. Age of consent varies according to where you live. States, countries, everything. She wants me to keep it a secret from my mom, but I spoke to my fiance about this with permission from her. And he thinks I'm weird, just as weird if I don't say anything about this to my mom, to our mom. It matters I am adult. If it matters, I'm adult 21 female. And I feel like no matter what I do, I would be looking as a bad guy for either letting this happen or reporting it to my mom. I'm not good at making decisions, so be mean as you would like me to be. And thanks for the advice. I went through notifying my mom and my sister have cut me off, but I'd rather that than her be in a horrible situation with a predator. My mom is and about telling the fiance I gave no idea who she is or how to find her as I don't know the guy myself. Otherwise I would 100% tell her. Edit 2. My sister's talking to me again. She still doesn't like that I told, but she understands why. And after a bit of over explaining to her, as for the fiance, I have no idea still. Legally, we can't do anything as the age of consent here is 16, and he was in no authority position over her. I should clear things up. There was no rape or coercion, as she told me herself. Legally, in my state, that would be rape. We've come to a conclusion that she did something she regrets, and the guy is a creep, and we're getting a restraining order. So that's what happened with that. Next, we have Oh No, Consequences, entitled, I told my son to leave my house, but I didn't actually mean to. Why did he take me seriously? The original post was an Am I the A-hole? AITA for kicking my stepson out for coming home late. Yes. Yes, you are. That is not the appropriate punishment for her coming home late. The appropriate punishment was either you can't go out for a while or you have to come home even earlier. Preferably, I prefer that don't come home even early. Come home even earlier because that'll put a damper on him. Me, 40 male, and my wife, 39 female, got married a month ago. A month ago? I have a daughter, 16, and she has a son, 16. Also, my wife's ex died in a sad accident in 2015. So you've been married a month and you're kicking out a child who has no father. Are you kidding me? This belongs in I'm the Devil. Am I the Devil? We met online. She was living in another city not far away. We started visiting each other and eventually got married. She moved into my house with her son. Her son is an amateur photographer and graphic designer. Good for him. Good for him. He has worked for a couple of small magazines and a micro influencer. I don't know how much, but he makes money from that. He's never taken any money from me. I've never seen him take anything from my wife either. At first, he was good with me and my daughter. We only argued twice, and the second time somehow ended up kicking him out of the house. He's 16. You don't get to do that. Where's he supposed to go? I can't tell you the whole first one because it's over 3,000 characters. It's just my daughter said something about the troubled guys he hangs out with, and I warned him. He's 16, and he's not giving you any bit of trouble. He didn't argue, but he was very irritated. After that day, he continued to be nice to me and my daughter, but it was very fake. Last week, he had a photo shooting job and came home late. He was at work. You're upset with him for coming home late from work? I told him that in my house he has an in and out rule and he shouldn't be so late. He calmly told me that he didn't come because he was working, and I said, I understand, but there are rules in this house. You are an ass. Oh my gosh. He said, your house, your rules, but I don't think I can follow them when I'm working. Sorry. That made me mad, and I said, "Maybe I need to think about some things." He responded like, "What?" And I got really pissed off, and he said, "Like, kick you out." His mom tried to calm down and didn't work. He said, "I'm thinking about it. I'm waiting." He said, "Think about it. I'm waiting." Good for him. And his mother should divorce this guy. Like, as Sarby says, ASAP Rocky. I don't want to tell the whole conversation, but yeah, I don't want to tell the whole conversation. Why? Because it makes you look even worse than you already look. Is that why? I finally told him, "Get out of my house." He asked my wife, "Do you have anything to say about this?" And when she said, "Let's down and talk in peace," he went to his room and locked the door. 2 hours later, he packed up all his things, called a taxi, and left the house. When I asked him to stop, he said, "Think twice before you speak." My wife cried and begged, and he didn't listen to her either. The next day in the evening, he called my wife. He was back in his home city, staying with a friend for a while and then renting a house. He's a minor. I don't know how he's going to rent a house, but he's already not supposed to get on a plane or a bus by himself. Oh, he's 16, honey. He can do what he wants, especially a bus. Who's going to check? I really, yeah, he's 16. He can get on a plane by himself. He's a big boy. He's a bigger boy than you are, sir. I really don't know how he got back. CUNT is really like one of those annoying kids in sitcoms. Wow. Wow. Wife told me before that he was very stubborn, just like his father. He's not stubborn at all. You're mistreating him. I didn't expect this much. Things have been going downhill with my wife. Oh, poor thing. I don't know what to do. AITH. Yes. And I have to say, I didn't really mean to kick him out. I just didn't think he was really going to leave. I also wanted to have a nice conversation, but he escalated the argument so quickly. No, you're mistreating him. Helpful hour says, I wanted to have a nice conversation equals I threatened to kick out a child out of his home knowing he had nowhere to go because his other parent is dead. But he escalated the argument so quickly equals he refused to bow down to my overinflated equal packed his bags and left. And the OP, this is like OOP would be the dad. OP says, bingo, he was having a power trip and failed epically. Yeah, he was. This poor kid. You want to come live with me, kid? You can come live with me. I have room. I have room to put you in. It'll be fine. And see, it said I had to reread this in the OP because I was really hoping I misread Kurt, but nope. OOP really wrote out and thought he was still on the right. CUNT is really like one of those annoying kids in sitcoms. How can you say this and still need to ask if you're the a-hole? Oh, OP has like the third most upvoted comment saying his one response to further info was the incident the first time you argued about what when he came home. Why not push for a reasonable compromise for the nights he works? What time did he come home? What time is the curfew? He's 16. He shouldn't even have a curfew. Does his mother know he would be out late? Did he let her know he would be returning her to her from usual? Actually, this guy got your problem is you're parenting a kid that's not your kid. This kid is 16. You just moved in a month ago. He is not your child. It is mother's responsibility to set the rules for him and to make sure he follows those rules. It is not your place. It is not your place to parent this child. He's not yours, and he's nearly a grown person. His response, he came home at 1 a.m. We were told him and our daughter to come home before 9. He told his mother he was going to work, but I don't know. It was the first serious argument we've had about this. I had wanted to compromise, but the child escalated the argument very quickly. And the OP here says, wanted to compromise my ass. He called the kid CUNT in the last paragraph. He's happy the kid is gone, but his mom doesn't like it, and that's why he tries to get him back. Aggravating thing says, I found that little slip of character so jarring, but so telling. Dude spends the entire narrative just so thoughtfully constructing and placing his words. Then he shits himself and shows his real thoughts at the end. There's a definite missing info reasons vibe to the entire thing. Yep. And when I got to that, I was like, yeah, no doubt this guy's a total a-hole and he's not just manipulative, he's dumb enough to believe that he's actually good at it, that people are going to buy his crap the way he sells it. Somebody said he could be from Australia or the UK, and somebody else is like, no, he used the word mom and not mum. Coworker thought this was a, oh, sorry. This is from Mildly Infuriating, and it's entitled, Coworker thought this was a harmless prank. I'm trying this a different way because I think the pictures are too small. I'm going to do it the other way. I went out to my car. I went out to my car to find a coworker had dumped the contents of a shredder in the front and back seat of my car. Everyone thought I overreacted, but a little, but this will take me a long time to clean up all the way. Am I right to think this isn't a very good joke, right? No, that's a terrible joke. Why would you do that? I mean, it's harmless in that it didn't hurt anyone except for your time that you're gonna have to clean the crap up. Fit adage, ad- fit adagio. I don't know why I couldn't remember how to pronounce that at first. I thought this was glass. I did too. It's not glass. It's just paper. Pure Chemistry said I did as well. I accidentally smashed a coworker's sunroof, and his car looked like this with shattered glass everywhere. Long story short, a hose got loose and the nozzle landed on his sunroof. However, I paid for the new sunroof cleaning and apologized profusely. I'm still embarrassed about it. Yeah. If you're going to do a prank like this, you better be prepared to clean it up or pay to have it cleaned off. Laugh it off and then fill the coworker's car with glitter. Yes, baby. I don't know, something was removed by the moderator. Egnards says, back in my 20s, my roommates and I loved to prank each other. We had very simple rule. If it costs money to fix them and they want it fixed, you fix it. That's fair. In our case, one day, getting really drunk while roommate number two was away and painting his bedroom door pink. He didn't seem to mind, though. So a few months later, we got really drunk again, and while artist friend was around, we had him draw a huge unicorn on the door. We painted the unicorn a deep purple. Oddly, seemed to mind, and over a decade later, roommate number one still lives in that same apartment. The door is still painted pink with the purple unicorn. That's cool. However, that is to say, we were fully ready to reimburse him for the paint and send it back to white or to buy a new door. In your case, it's your coworker's responsibility to take your car to be vacuumed if that doesn't do a good enough job of full detailing. Yep, 100%. Oh, they have a picture. Oh, that's cool. Hold on. We have a picture of the unicorn door. That is cute as a button. I'd leave it too. That's awesome. Okay. Am I overreacting? Was deleted because I don't know. It was deleted by the person who did it. Now I know we read this one. Hold on. Or at least I read it. I guess I should. Reacting. Maybe we didn't read it. Maybe I read it. I think I read it. Okay, never mind. Am I overreacting? Let me know if I read this already. Am I overreacting for taking a break from my boyfriend after he ripped through a turkey at our family Thanksgiving? My boyfriend and I, my boyfriend, 28 male, and I, 27 female, have been dating for almost 2 years and living together for 6 months. I met him through my friend at a house party and we immediately hit it off. He was almost exactly like a guy I wanted, extremely tall, huge, witty with jokes, kind and well dressed. He was absolutely buffed. I still say I've read this before. That's not what I wanted. No, okay, I'm just double checking. Really buffed, we vibed throughout the party and exchanged numbers at the end. He has met my family a couple of times after we moved in together, and they absolutely loved him. My grandparents host Thanksgiving dinner almost every year, and we were both invited to it. I thought it would have been lovely to make him meet my with them and my other family's members too, since my uncle's family would be there too. We had to drop his sister off at his parents' house, a 2 hour drive, and pick me up from our house. It was like a 1.5 hour drive to my grandparents' house. Everyone was happy to meet him, and it seemed like they really liked him until we sat down for dinner. We said our grace, and Grandpa carved the turkey and started to pass it around the table. It was a regular sized turkey, like we have every Thanksgiving to feed 12 and still have leftovers. We were 10. Both of us were sitting near the at the end of the table next to Grandpa, so my boyfriend was the last one to get it. There was still a lot of it left because everyone took only a little. We passed it around again for some more. He placed it right next to him and started digging through the entirety of it. He was so profuse, as my nephew said later, gobbling it up. I told him quietly to go easy, but he didn't listen. He started saying how good it was and that my grandma had a huge smile on her face. He was eating just the turkey, and my grandpa said, "Boy, someone really likes turkey," and everyone laughed. But it got to a point where everyone was talking about it. He did not take a hint and shrugged it off like a teenager. My family turned from the embarrassed, and I could read from the embarrassment, and I could see everyone judging us so hard. I could hear my uncle and his wife make unfunny jokes about it. It was finished without getting to anyone again with no leftovers. That would make me mad because I want my turkey sandwich. I want my turkey sandwich after the turkey. My boyfriend is a gym freak. He spends a ridiculous amount of time and money working out, eating protein-rich meals, online courses, etc. He has a set protein limit that he hits every day, sometimes over but never under. He also gets his protein from just meals, no supplements, so he's used to having large meals. He needs to take some supplements because that's ridiculous. It has never been a problem with me, and I respect his way of living, if not love it. We continue, we cook together all the time, and if I'm not in the mood, he happily makes a meal for me. He won't even let me contribute to grocery expenses. Well, yeah, because they're minimal, probably. Because of him, I started eating healthy and feel a lot better about my lifestyle. I think this is all about you. After the dinner, we go to fight while driving home. He says he had been driving all day and didn't eat anything after breakfast, so he had to hit his protein. And that he wasn't enjoying it after some time and just had to shove it down the throat. No, you don't. You do not need to overeat like that, sir. He said if I was hungry, I could have happily made him a meal after we had gotten home. But now everyone in my family is going to talk about how you finished something made for the whole family. He thought everyone took his share. What? He got really mad instead of blowing it out of proportion and overreacting over a simple meal. I snapped saying how I overreacting if I just try to communicate what he did. It was an hour-long drive, so things got heated. He kept saying I'm calling him a pig for eating like that. Well, you are. And should probably get out of his life if that's a problem because he believes he did nothing wrong, isn't going to change himself. Well, that's an issue. That is a red flag issue right there. Not listening to others when they tell you something and they give you constructive criticism in a nice way is not cool. He persisted on it even though that wasn't my point. I got so mad that he dropped me off at a gas said, "Think about what I just did." So, gas station in the middle of the night on Thanksgiving, probably not even open. I was terrified. I collected myself to call an Uber to my sister's house and sobbed the entire night. I told myself after a week things would get clear. He hasn't texted, nor did I. I can see how I could have reacted differently, but I can't get myself out over the fact that he just left me and stranded in the middle of the night. Am I overreacting or should I make a move to make things straight? Ma'am? Oh, honey, you really, really, sweetheart, need to get away from this guy because of this. Red flags all over the place. Red carpet, red house. Edit. Thank you for everyone for the comments. I did not expect to get this many reactions. It really helped me hear other people's perspective and how naive I was. Here's an update that happened after I posted this. I called to talk to them about what happened. The call was answered by a woman's voice who I didn't recognize. Yes, it wasn't his sister. I know her voice very well. When I asked if I could talk to him, she replied, "He's in a cardio session. I'll tell him to call you later." I was puzzled after this, so I waited for his call, imagining all the worst things. It turned out to be right. He was cheating on me. He told me he had been seeing her for a couple of months and she works as a coach at the gym that she goes to. Yeah, that is a good match for her, gym rats. I searched for her on Instagram and she is a fitness influencer with a lot of followers. A lot. He said she is a better match for him and will help him grow his career on social media. Oh, so he's using her. He's using her. Nice. Sounds like a lovely guy, doesn't he? Yes, he has a fitness channel too, but nowhere near the amount of followers she has. She had a much better body than me, and when asked didn't he why he didn't tell me earlier and end things right there, he said he knew I would overreact and act emotional and mature like I'm doing right now and wouldn't understand him. Projection. You just didn't want to deal with it. You're so rude. Like, don't cheat on her. If you're unhappy with it and you want somebody else, break up. Break up before you cheat. He has packed my things in boxes and kept them in the garage. He told me to collect it or not. He doesn't care and ended the call. He sounds like a major a-hole. I started sobbing uncontrolled. My sister was beside me and comforted me. She said his fitness influencer girlfriend, might not even know that he had been dating and he is running after her followers, not her. She replied that I am in denial and he probably saw the opportunity on Thanksgiving argument and got rid of me, making me think I was the one that caused the end of their relationship. That's probably true. I'm taking my sister and her boyfriend to collect my things this week and probably get a closure. Value concept said, "Bro, what?" Laughing my ass off. Everything else aside, the fact that he left you at a gas station should be immediate deal breaker. Yeah, no kidding. On to the turkey. Yes, he was acting like a fool and quite disrespectfully. Common courtesy dictates that you take a single serving for your own dish and leave more for people to get seconds and thus explicitly instructed to finish it off. Let alone this isn't even his family. It's a very entitled thing to do. Add to add that to everyone, including yourself. Comments shows a lack of awareness or willful defiance. I've been a gym rat. I've been in that mode where you eat clean, whole foods only, and need a ton to at least maintain, if not bulk. I would never crush the remainder of a family meal in my own house, let alone someone else's, without being explicitly told to multiple times. His lack of breakfast is his own problem, or worse, both of yours, not the entire family. Federal ads quoted the everything else aside, the fact that he left you at a gas station should be an immediate deal breaker, said. I stopped reading right before that and skipped to the comments. What? That is an immediate deal breaker, OP. Saint Cyber says, I didn't he didn't just drop her off at a gas station. He dropped her there to think about what she just did. What kind of wanged up version of timeout is that? Not overreacting, get out. And live I live to sing says, sounds like a lot. lot like narcissism to me. Yeah, everybody's saying the same thing. Get out, get out, get out. This is server life. Mark it this time that I read it. This is entitled "Waiting for the New Hire to Finish at the POS," which is in this case not piece of crap. It's point of. Oops, I forgot. Ah, what's it doing? No, don't do that. There we go. That sounds about right. That seems about right. Initial officer says there's 5 points of sale in our dining room on a busy Saturday night in December. All of them were being used by people who started within the past 2 months. I never wanted handheld so badly. This is Best of Redditor updates entitled I, 26 female, was humiliated in front of my fiance, 25 male, by my best friend, 27 female. I'm not sure if I should forgive her. How should I handle this? Was originally posted in Relationship Advice on March 16th, 2024. I will do my best to keep this as a few words as possible. Yeah, it's a wall o' text. I have a small group of people I consider my best friends that I've known all my life. I will use fake names for them: Beth, Stack, and Gwen. Stace. Maybe that's supposed to be Stace. STAC. I'm going with Stack because that's what it says. Of the three, only Gwen is married or in a relationship. I'm a big girl. 5'3", 260 issues with my weight and self-esteem issues. I was always told you have such a beautiful face. If you were smaller, I would date you. I've been in a few relationships where it's obvious my boyfriend at the time were ashamed to be seen with me. They would never hold my hand in public and never post pictures of us together on Instagram and Facebook. My luck on dating apps consisted of getting ghosted or just wanting sex, and I'm embarrassed to say I allowed myself to be used by some guys. Eventually, I stopped responding to most messages. 3 years ago, I met my fiance, Kyle, at one of my nephew's soccer games. Kyle was the coach and approached me afterwards. He asked me if I was ever going to reply to his message. I was confused, and he said he messaged me a week prior and answered a question I had on my POF profile. That's when I remembered his message and I got embarrassed. I told him I had been busy, and he asked me if I had any plans for later that night. My sister and nephew both liked him and had told me as much. I agreed and exchanged numbers with him, even though I feel like he was out of my league. Kyle is average sized and in shape. Girl, you got yourself a guy with a fetish, and that's okay. It's okay. If he likes big girls, he should be able to have a big girl, right? To this day, I don't know why he didn't cut luck out on me that date. I got it into my head that he was only after sex and might have some big girl fetish. We met up for early dinner in a casual Mexican restaurant, and with 5 minutes, I asked him, "Are you just looking for a hiccup because you have a thing for fat girls?" He shook his head and told me he was interested because of things on my profile, how I like soccer, my favorite wine, TV shows, and that my photos I posted showed that I like to travel. He led most of the conversation and tried to get me to open up and ask questions. He would gently touch my hand from time to time and tried flirting. He sounds like a nice guy. Somehow I asked to see me again, and the second date went a lot better. I found out he was a widower and that lost his wife and 2 month old son in a car crash a decade before. Oh, poor Kyle. He's been through it. He had tried dating off and on for a few years, but nothing serious came of it. He worked in the field and I got my degree in, but had no luck getting hired into. Within 3 months, we were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. That's nice. Yay. Oh, and also, this guy has all the green flags. With My friends and family were thrilled, and his family welcomed me in, even his former in-laws, who he still considered family, all except Beth. Beth, when I told her, kept asking me if I was sure about him. She asked if he wasn't just using for sex, which had yet to happen. Then it was, well, he probably doesn't want to have sex with you. And I mentioned that he holds my hand in public and would pull me just a bit closer to him when we went out for drinks when guys would walk towards us. Suddenly he was controlling. That doesn't sound controlling to me. Eventually Kyle met my three best friends and they all liked him immediately, and Beth said he was a keeper. He helped me get hired at another company in my field and starting at 70K plus benefits after I politely declined an opportunity to work alongside him. Probably smart. That that was probably really smart of you. I say all this because since Kyle has come into my life, he has shown me nothing but love, affection, grace, and kindness. He has also helped me get start past my insecurities. I was over 300 pounds when I met him, and now I'm at 260. My initial fears of being some fetish of his are gone, and he has always been there in every way I could ever want. A few days ago, we hosted a dinner with Beth Stack and Gwen and her husband. Kyle and Gwen's husband, Mike, had become friends, and they did all the cooking and cleanup. Wow. Green flags for Mike and Kyle. Or, yeah, Mike and Kyle. Everything was going good, and we were relaxing on the back porch drinking some cocktails when Beth asked me in front of everyone, "Why do you tolerate that picture of Kyle with his dead son and wife?" Oh my God. I was absolutely mortified. Kyle looked upset but was keeping his composure. I explained that was the only picture he had of the three of them together, and that would never ask him to hide it because that was his wife and son. That he loved them, and I know Kyle loves me, and that she was being rude and needed to call an Uber to leave. Bye, Beth. Beth is not your friend. Just saying. She obviously had too much to drink seem to like and didn't seem like she wanted to leave. Then she absolutely embarrassed me when she brought up a humiliation I had endured with an ex during the lowest point of my life and hadn't told Kyle about. I bet keeping the picture up was his idea, and you went along with it, like when Jeff would make you wear a pig mask and oinked when he wanged you. Kyle absolutely exploded on her and yelled that she needed to get the wang out of our house. Mike and Gwen had to drag a now crying Beth out with Stack following them. When they left, I just started bawling and looked at Kyle and started to repeat that I was sorry. If he didn't want me anymore, I would understand. All my insecurities that I worked so hard to overcome came flooding back. He just hugged me and kissed me on the top of my head and told me that what I did before doesn't bother him. It was Beth humiliating me that pissed him off. He told me that it's up to me if I remain friends with her, but he doesn't want to be around Beth anymore. Don't blame him. Also, more green flags for this guy. He cleaned up the patio and held me, and I fell asleep crying. Today, I texted Beth that we needed to talk. We met for brunch, and she was very embarrassed about her behavior. I told her I don't think I can be her friend. Then she started to blame Kyle for our relationship ending and that he was winged in the head for making you look at his dead wife and kid. Don't throw our friendship away over him. Friendship away over him. He's worth it. I got up and paid for my food and left. Gwen and Stack. Oh, now she spells it Stace. Gwen and Stace don't want to be in the middle of this, but agree that Beth found the love of my life and hope one day things will return to normal. No, this is something that you do not recover from. Someone saying that kind of crap, you don't recover from that. That's what she really thinks. That's what she really thinks because she was drunk when she said it. And then she said it again when she was sober. Are you kidding me? I told them that I won't be upset if they hang out with Beth, but I don't want to be included if she's with them and they're fine with that. Beth was my first friend and someone I always looked up to. She held me as I cried for my first boyfriend left me after a week after I lost my virginity to him because dared to date me and slept with me. He was dared to date me and sleep with me. Now I'm wavering about wanting to give her another chance. No, 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 no. We have so much history and amazing memories. Kyle said it would support me either way, but he was a hard no on being around Beth outside our wedding if I wanted her there. I'm so torn of what to do. She was drunk, but she was drunk. But she said things, words, and they cut me to the core. She was drunk because she'd been thinking about that for a long time. This is not her going out of her way because she's drunk. This is her telling the truth because she's drunk. Should I forgive her and cut her out of my life? Ozzy Bibliophile says Beth is jealous as Wang that you are in a loving relationship and getting married. She 100% thinks bad of you and thinks she's better and wondering why this is happening to you, not her. In your head with her BS questions and opinions. When that didn't work, she attacked your fiance directly using the one thing that might push him away. And when that failed, she humiliated you by exposing something terrible to get you to leave him. She is no friend. Drop her and be happy with your remaining friends and fiance. Oh, he says, thank you. I'm starting to open my eyes to who she really is. I don't need her in my life. Reading the comments and thinking back, it's been revealing. Jana Banana says, I would not have someone like Beth in my life. She revealed something so private and personal to hurt you. It sounds like she's jealous. In many ways, she sounds like the men who used you. She may have liked being the thinner friend. Now you have met a good man, and while she's still single, she can't stand it. She wants you to herself. She's filled with jealousy to the point she is hurting you deeply, and that is not okay. If you were to consider having her back in my life, she needs to get therapy and publicly apologize for being a raging a-hole to everyone at the party. She needs to explain herself and why she was so cruel. Until she gets her act together, I would steer clear of her. OOP answers, so all of my friends are on the bigger side, but even after my weight loss, I'm still a lot bigger. Beth is the type of curvy that a lot of men go for these days, and absolutely gorgeous, but now I'm seeing that she's an ugly person inside. Now that I look back, she was always complaining about her relationships. I never thought in a million years she would do this to me, and that she would ever be jealous of me. I always looked up to her and wished my body was like hers. Thank you for responding. Poppies at Night says, she was never your friend. Friends celebrate their friends' victories. She was using you to feel better about herself. She liked you low. And now that you had something good going, she needed to sabotage that. Don't take her back. You now see who she is the whole time, believe me. OOP says, yes, I see this now. It just hurt and crushed that. What she said about Kyle's late wife and son hurt my heart because she attacked them. Update 1, March 17, 2024. So that's the next day. Minor update. I just got a text from Gwen who told me that she and Mike have cut Beth out of their lives. Mike was furious at Beth and got pissed at Gwen for wanting to keep a friend like that. Gwen apologized for even considering keeping Beth as a friend. Thank goodness for Mike. I told you Mike was great. Mike is a good guy. Relevant comments. Careless Welder says, girl, I cannot even believe the other girls still wanted to be friends with a monster. OOP. Gwen is done with her. I haven't talked to Stace since right before the brunch with Beth. Now that I'm starting to get angry at what Beth did, I hope Stace sees what Gwen says. Careless Welder says, girl, Gwen only apologized because her husband told her she was an idiot. She still wanted to be friends with her. I'd be wary of all of them. Obviously, Beth should not be considered a friend. OOP, maybe I'm willing to hear Gwen out. We've been friends for 20 years, and if I was ever considering forgiving Beth, then I'm willing to give Gwen and Stace a chance. They were 100% behind me dating Kyle right away, whereas Beth haven't bowed people in front of me like Beth. So I think they deserve a chance. Final update later in the day, 17th. I stayed up too late reading comments. Thank you for everyone for the kind words and for helping me realize that Beth doesn't care about me. I am hurt, sad, and angry, and actually the pity the woman Beth became. Somewhere along the way, the 7-year-old Beth that stood up for me when kids would make fun of me and would share the snacks from the pack for her died, and I will mourn the loss of that Beth. I will now go crawl into a bed and cuddle with my man. Coming in the Nile says, Beth got jealous that her bigger friend pulled a guy she found attractive, and rather than deal with her insecurity, blew up their relationship. Shang Hatai says, how dare you have what I want when I'm better than you? In quotes. It's true some people like keeping other people around only because they're good about themselves. Aglos and Narsil says, that's exactly what it is. I had a friend that was like this and it sucked. I got him a job once, later found out he was super salty that I was a supervisor there and he wasn't. And then he did get promoted to supervisor. Apparently, he bragged to people that he was making more than me. It wasn't even a good job. It was a crappy mall retail thing. He was living with his parents and unemployed and weighing me, I guess, for trying to help out. He blew up another of his long-term friendships because his friend got a girlfriend, eventually a wife, and he was awkward with women. He was upset that one of his friends drove a nicer car than him, a car that his other friend worked hard and saved up for. He also just seemed to think that he deserved stuff and was never happy when anyone else had things he thought were better, even if they were earned. None of us are friends with him anymore. It sucks. We had some good times together. It's never easy to cut someone off, and God knows as adults, new friends aren't falling out of the sky. But Wang dealing with that nonsense. Yeah, 100%. And now we have Made Me Smile, but it's entitled Police Brutality. I've read this first. Okay. It's entitled Canine Recognizes His First Handler. Dog is back. Aw. Hey, buddy. This is how my son's dog acts when she sees me. Let me rub all over you. Oh, that was so sweet. Wasn't that sweet? Choose wisely changed. Used to help train sniffer dogs that help out at airports. When she went on holiday and wanted to fly, one of those dogs recognized her and wanted treats. So the dog would keep sitting next to her, giving the signal, "Give me a treat." Only she didn't have any treats, and sitting next to someone was a signal for "I noticed drugs almost ruined her holiday." That could have been bad. That does not sound fun. Yep, I already got a warning that I'm temporarily blocked. Ugh. So this is already temporarily blocked, guys. Um, so I'm gonna have to go fix that. It won't take long. I'll just have him block it. It's fine. All I did was share things off Facebook. So all right, I guess I'll have to go take care of that, and I will see you later. Love you, biddies. Bye. Bye.